Hello everybody. In this video I will show you how to use my plugin RSS Feed Aggregator Plugin for WordPress. So using this plugin you will be able to create a news aggregator website that uses RSS feeds for source. So let's start the demonstration. To install the plugin, click Plugins, Add New. Navigate to the zip file you downloaded and click Install Now. Activate the plugin. Here you will see that we can go to plugin settings. Here you will see a bunch of options. To head into the plugin, you will need these shortcodes. I will explain these settings a bit later. So, to get started with the plugin, we just, in this case, let's create a new post, and simply paste this shortcode example. You have 4 shortcodes in the plugin. One that will aggregate RSS feeds, only one RSS feed. This is an example of its usage. Let's paste the shortcode here. Another one is to aggregate multiple RSS feeds in the same widget. Another one is to display the latest imported items by the plugin. And another one to display a list of popular items that were imported by the plugin. I will explain everything in detail. Now let's head and publish the RSS feed. Notice that you have some parameters. Feed URL. Here you can set the feed URL from which you want to import posts. Maximum 5 posts should be displayed at once. Update interval should be 3600 seconds. So in 1 hour the plugin should update its feeds. And content structure, here you can use shortcodes. These are shortcodes. This is a shortcode example with which you can change how the plugin displays the entries from the feeds. And also you can change the date format that the plugin is displaying. Also there are many more options and parameters, but let's stick to this basic example right now. Let's hit publish and go to the resulting page. So this is the resulting page. You can see items from TechCrunch are being imported. Okay, so now let's head to plugin settings and let's have a look at what we can customize. So, feed URL. Here you can change the URL of the feed, as I said before. Max is the maximum number of items to display. Let's say here 3. Update. And if we refresh the page, only 3 items are getting displayed. Content structure. Here you can change the way the links are being displayed or the items are being displayed. Here you can set a default content structure, default structure for aggregated list items. If you don't set this variable, this parameter for the shortcode, then this will be considered. Here you can see also the valid shortcodes that you can use in this parameter. Let's say I want to include the date. Then I come here, paste the date variable, shortcode, and also I want to include the image of the post, show image. for this I want to break the line and show the image on a new line. Okay, so let's update it now. Go to the page, refresh it. Here you have it. Notice that this image is large. You can resize resulting images if you set here image size. Let's say I want images 300 or 300. Let's save the settings. And the images are resized. Okay, now let's continue. You can change also the date format on how to display links. So if you want to display only the date and not the time, delete that part and refresh. This is all. Okay, so let's continue to the next feed. We can use multiple feed URLs to aggregate feed and display them in the same widget or by the same shortcode. Usage example is here. Let's copy this usage example and paste it down here. Let's separate these by a line. Okay, like this. So this will get feeds from TechCrunch and from CNN. Maximum for each feed will be 5 items. Update interval, content structure, date format. So these are known already. Let's go to the page. And here are also from TechCrunch, as you can see, and also from CNN. Notice that URLs are redirected right now because of this. If we uncheck this feature, you will see down in the page that URLs are pointing to their original source. If you check the redirect post URLs, post links will look like internal links but will point to external websites. Okay, let's continue. Latest RSS. You can include here the latest imported items. Also separate this. Here you can see what was imported the last time. And also the popular widget, which is very nice feature of the plugin. This widget will display what items are the most popular. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, so this widget, the popular widget, will display which items are the most popular clicked. So it is empty right now, but if we click on this, for example, and refresh the page, and so on, and if we click on Tylerson again, it will move up. So if visitors keep clicking on links, this widget will display which is the most visited link of them all. Okay, so now let's continue. Here on the aggregated feed there are more parameters. We talked about until here. Order by. You can order the posts by date, time, random, or by post ID. So let's go and try this out. Let's say I want to create a random widget. In this case, I enter in the shortcode this parameter, order by random. And if we update it and go to the page, you will see at each refresh, random items are generated for this shortcode. Okay. Order ascending or descending. Since you can input a start date and an end date for the feeds. So let's replace this. Since 1 hour ago until 1 minute ago. Update. And now the shortcode will not display anything, but if we enter here 1 day ago, it is displaying again. This is because the latest posts that were imported were older than 1 hour ago. So they were published before 1 hour ago from this time when I'm filming. Okay. So let's continue. You can also skip first posts, but this is a not so widely used feature. You can skip, let's say, if you have the latest imported post, you want to skip that, you can put here offset equals 1. Also, another nice feature are required words and ban words. Let's try this feature out right now. Let's say I want to input required word Uber and ban word, let's not ban now anything, and let's update this. Now let's go to the page and let's refresh, and as you can see, only the post about Uber remained. Okay. So this is it about this. I want to show you real quick the documentation. One moment here. This is it. So you can see here the documentation details all parameters about for each shortcode. You can see the parameter, explanation, default value, and example for each. And this is for each shortcode. Okay. So let's continue. Now let's head and explain the differences about multiple RS. The difference is that you can input multiple feed URLs separated by commas, and you have a max for each variable that will define how many items should be displayed for each, and also you have a maximum, total maximum amount of variables. Okay, the rest should be the same. The latest shortcode will also have the maximum, update interval, content structure, date format, required words, embed words parameters, and the popular with shortcode will have also the maximum, update interval, content structure, date format, since, until, feed URL, and offset, custom shortcode name. I'll explain this in a bit. So if you want to display popular items for last 4 hours, you will include since 4 hours. Custom shortcode name. Here you can input, if you click here on the custom shortcode creator, you can define shortcode names. Let's say Argus Sport, and input here feed URLs. Let's say from BBC, 1 on each line. This is not news, sport, this is news. From CNN and from TechCrunch, 1 on each line, and we generate a new shortcode, Argus News. Save the shortcode and go to our page, and we can use here the new shortcode. So instead of using the multiple shortcode, we can copy it, paste it, and simply replace it with Argus News. And we don't need anymore the feed URL parameter because Argus News already has the feed URLs predefined. And all we have to do is just update the page and refresh this. Here we have the feed URLs from BBC, TechCrunch, and CNN, as you can see down in the corner of the screen. Okay, also we can see imported items. We can see the title, the post URL, and the feed URL from where it was imported. We can search. Let's say we want to search for Heinz Wolf. Okay. Activity and logging. Here we can see plugin log if any error occurred with our feeds, and we can restore to default settings. And now let's head back to the main options. Here you will see many advanced options for the plugin. I'll explain them right now. So here you can disable or enable the plugin, use custom simple Pi version that is bundled with the plugin, or if you uncheck this, the WordPress version will be used. Force detection of feeds on the URLs you specified. If you have errors in the shortcode, you can check this to fix it. Clear user agent when getting feeds. Enable caching for feeds. This will improve performance. This will fix some feed fetching errors. You can disable WordPress cache when fetching feeds. If you disable this, the feeds will be fetched directly from the database. You can define maximum number of seconds that the feed cache will be kept. This is in seconds. Stop importing post when first item is already posted and found as already posted. You should check this if you want to improve importing performance. You can wipe the database when deactivating the plugin. If you only disable temporarily the plugin, you should disable this. You should also enable this, to disable feed refreshing on page access. because this will decrease the performance of the page for the visitors. So this should be checked only the first time you refresh the page with the feeds to include the feeds in the database. Afterwards, you can activate this feature to not refresh the page, to not refresh the shortcodes when refreshing the page. This will leave only the cron that I will explain in a minute to refresh the feeds, and the visitors will have higher performance on page load. The default structure for aggregated feed displaying. You can use the redirect I show you already. You can add nofollow to generated links. You can define a timeout for rule running. If the rule takes more than this amount of seconds to run, it will automatically be stopped. Post title maximum word count. You can define maximum word count for title and for description. Automatically delete older items than this date. You can automatically delete items older than these dates. Automatically refresh all feeds that are already in database. You can select if you want to use VP cron to automatically refresh the database items. This is recommended because if you don't use this feature, feeds will be refreshed only on page access. So it is recommended to disable feed refreshing on page access and enable VP cron refresh, or to schedule the URL the plugin provides, but I'll show you this in a minute. Maximum number of posts to add when updating posts. This is for each feed. So on auto update, 10 posts will be added for maximum for each feed. Update feeds after this amount of seconds. Try to replace VP cron with real cron. If you want to, you can try to use this feature. Also, you can input a secret word. Let's say the secret word is cron. Save settings. And now you can see that URL appeared that you can use for Linux cron. You can schedule this command, and cron will call automatically the importing process every half an hour. This is every half an hour. In this case, you have to disable the VP cron. If you have questions about this, you can ask me. I will help you gladly with the configuration. Here you have some image related options. You can copy images locally. If you copy images locally, the images will be resized automatically to this size, so their size will be greatly reduced. Default image URL, if post has no featured image, you can set a default featured image for posts that do not have an image, and some advanced features on from where to get the featured images. You can skip feed content, skip OG image, and skip article content. Notice that the plugin will scrape the source URL and search for OG image if it doesn't find other sources for the featured image. And finally, we have some custom variable value creators. We can define a feed URL, define a variable name, and define a custom variable value for this variable name. So let's say I want to, for example, for BBC News, input BBC News, variable name. Also here I can create new variables, but let's say I want to override the value of the title with link variable, shortcode, and here simply I want to add my URL, any URL you wish. So this will display, this shortcode will display for this feed this value if we save settings. This is all. Okay, so I hope I explained this plugin well. One final thing, I want to show you a website that was created using this plugin. So this is the latest post widget, the top most clicked articles. If we refresh it, the top appears here. Top 24 hours, top 7 days, and top 4 hours. The sources. These widgets are filtered by required word. As you can see, this is about Vladimir Putin. This is about Halep, Simona Halep from tennis. This is the latest widget, and also the latest widget for the top. This is the sport, the top feed items for sport, and you can see it is a real nice feed aggregator website that was built here. Also, it has a very fast page load speed, so the plugin has a great performance. Okay, so this is all. Until next time, bye bye. If anything, let me know. Bye.